Hey everybody, Chris Coonahan for Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection company with over 1 million satisfied homeowners. I'm here to answer all of your home maintenance questions. I have Mary from Des Moines on the line. How can I help, Mary?
You're wrong. You'll see. $100.
Mary, you there?
Hey, Chris, sorry. I'm calling to settle a bet with my husband. Okay, so is it better to deal with a clogged gutter now or wait until the weather's better?
Mary, the time is now. The longer you wait, the more damage you can have. Your husband may have lost this bet, but repairing your gutters can save your family thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your home.
But how much will it cost to get our gutters inspected?
Well, husband of Mary, leaf filter inspection and estimates are always free for new customers. And right now, if you go to leaffilter.com/gold, you can get an additional 30% off.
I think I won here.
We both did. What's that site, Chris?
That's leaffilter.com/gold. Visit today to schedule your free gutter inspection.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Welcome to the Wired for Success podcast, your show for ambitious, mission-driven entrepreneurs who want to build million-dollar businesses without sacrificing their health, relationships, or happiness, who understand that in order to build their empire, they need a solid foundation, and that the more they are thriving, the more their business is thriving too. This show brings you the very best from science, self-development, and entrepreneurship to set you up for sustainable success. Hi, I'm Claudia Garbutt, the scientist turned mindset and high performance coach for entrepreneurs, and I help you get wired for success. Before we dive into today's episode, let me share something that I've found super helpful lately, because I think it could be really helpful to you too. If you've ever gone through a rough patch in your life, you probably know that those are the moments in your life when your familiar systems break down and the things that used to work for you often just stop working. Now raise your hand if you've experienced a situation like this. Well, you can't see me, but I'm definitely raising my hand. So far, this year has been a real challenge for me on so many levels, mentally, emotionally, physically. And it required me to get out of my comfort zone to test new strategies to stay happy, healthy, and productive. As you probably know, there are two main things driving your overall everyday experience, and that's your physiology and your psychology. And what I've seen happening a lot is that people who are going through a stressful time, they're often focusing on only one of those two pillars and are wondering why things don't improve. Well, the thing is, it's always a two-way communication between those two systems. If you neglect one, the other will suffer too. So whether you're going through a rough patch or whether you're looking to optimize your performance and experience in general, always make sure you're working on your mind and your body simultaneously. And I don't know about you, but I'm an optimizer for sure, and I always look for simple solutions that give me the most bang for my buck. For instance, stress can deplete magnesium levels in the body, and inadequate magnesium can in turn exacerbate stress and its effects. And you simply cannot meditate your way out of a magnesium deficiency. An effective way to help you get out of that negative spiral would be to supplement with magnesium to help your body regulate the deficiency and to integrate meditation or mindfulness to help your nervous system calm down again so that it can get out of that fight or flight mode again. Make sense? Not all forms of magnesium are equal or equally bioavailable though. To make things even more tricky, different forms of magnesium are also absorbed by different tissues in your body. So you have to make sure to get the right amount of the right forms of magnesium that support your overall health goals. And you don't want any unnecessary additives, fillers, and artificial ingredients. And that's why I love BiOptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough. BiOptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough contains the full spectrum of all 7 forms of the most bioavailable magnesium, each with its own unique benefits, along with vitamin B6 to support mental health and promote a healthy stress response. The combination of those different forms of magnesium help you support a lot of different systems all at once. Did you know that magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body? Yep, you heard that right. From energy production to muscle function, digestion, heart health, sleep, and even mood and cognitive function, magnesium plays a crucial role in keeping us ticking. I'm taking 2 capsules in the morning and sometimes another one in the evening before bed if it's been a particularly stressful day and I need to help my body calm down and relax, and it really makes a difference. But we all have to run our own experiments to see what works best for us. So why don't you give this a try to see what it can do for you? This could be the one tiny change in your routine that improves your sleep, metabolic health, cognition, energy, and performance all simultaneously to help you be your best. If for some reason you try Magnesium Breakthrough and it just doesn't work for you, you can get a full refund, no questions asked. Bioptimizers are so confident they offer you a 365-day money-back guarantee. If you'd like to test Bioptimizers Magnesium Breakthrough risk-free, head to bioptimizers.com/Claudia and use Claudia10 at checkout for a 10% discount on your order. Again, that's bioptimizers.com/Claudia and code Claudia10 to claim your 10% discount. And if you subscribe, not only will you get more discounts and free gifts, you will make sure your monthly supply is guaranteed. Without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Wired for Success podcast, where we talk about all things science, self-development, and entrepreneurship that help you get to that next level of success in your life and business. And my special guest today is quantum alignment coach Sally Reid. After having 2 life-altering near-death experiences, Sally unlocked extraordinary psychic abilities that allow her to perceive and manipulate the energy patterns that shape our reality. With her rare gift, she identifies and resolves deep-seated issues within minutes, promoting profound healing and personal growth. This certainly sounds super interesting. So welcome, Sally, and thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show today.
Thank you, Claudia. I really appreciate it. And it actually sounds too good to be true.
It does.
It does. But you know what? It actually is true. And I'll tell you how it is true. Has anybody ever had an aha moment? Have they ever had an instantaneous understanding when all the little pieces just shift out of the way and it just becomes clear?
Mm-hmm.
That is an energy shift. That's a standing wave collapse, essentially. Like you've been to the ocean and you've seen 2 waves of the same frequency hit each other and they both disappear, right? Where did the waves go? They just go boom and then calm. That's what I do. I find that standing wave, and it only takes a minute because it's obvious. I don't know how to say it becomes noticeable because there is a flow and then there's a stop of a flow. Just like when you're next to a river and you see the water flowing smoothly, and then there's a ripple because you know there's a rock under there.
There's a rock.
Right. If you ever canoe or you kayak, you know that when there's ripples, there's rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So, or standing waves or whatever. So that's exactly kind of the way I see it in somebody's energy flow and energy pattern. It's not that simple, but it's close.
Super interesting. Now, in the intro, I mentioned your near-death experiences. Can you tell us what happened and how it changed your life?
Well, the second one was the most life-changing. The first one, I was a small child and I was on the operating table having an operation, and they gave me too much anesthesia and I died. And that's fairly simple and also was very common at the time. You have no idea how many children died and then were brought back to life. So, and that was a very traditional near-death experience that everybody talks about, and like the golden room and the relatives and the light and all that. It was very traditional. And the second one, the time elapse was about 45 minutes, and I was alone, and I was a horse trainer, and the horse that I was training got me off. Just literally jumped out from underneath me, and I flipped completely over and landed upside down on my head. And, horses can be very powerful and strong. And when they're young and athletic, they can toss you a pretty long way. I've actually had one completely flip me up in the air and I've landed on my feet, but that time it was only a half circle. And I did break my neck badly. And oddly, and I yet have no explanation for this, I survived it, much to the surprise and actual fear. You know how when men are surprised by something and they don't understand it, they get angry with you. What is that? The doctor got so furious with me and yelled at me like, "How are you still alive?" kind of things. Because I got myself to the hospital.
Okay.
I didn't know I had a broken neck. I just knew that things were not right. But what happened during the near-death experience was like this window opening. It's like my receivers turned on, because what a lot of people don't know, after you die, you are instantly like all the things that all the spiritual people are attaining and trying to attain, are handed to you on a silver platter, like 1001, 1002. Here's your enlightenment. Thank you. It's true.
Okay. You just have to die for it.
Well, yeah, you do. And that's, like a lot of the people who really ascribe to spiritual practice are looking for that piece of enlightened bliss on this earth, which is very difficult to attain. And so I came to understand, sort of become a translator between the spirit and the human, because I'm still, plain old, middle class woman who is, a part-time outside salesperson, I was still the plain old person. And it took me a long time playing with the information that was given to me, because I also became able to be a very, very clear channel of spirit, that people talk about, like Esther Hicks and the other people. I became a very clear channel and still am. And I use the information to teach. And what I have come to understand in my own self, because I am still human, is that oftentimes when we are struggling, it's, everybody hears, oh, they're lessons. They're not lessons about life. They're lessons about your relationship with yourself and with the world around you. So if you dated a bad guy for the third time, it says more about your relationship with yourself than with the relationship outside. And the same way, if you're an entrepreneur and you keep hitting that same cliff and falling off it, like this always crashes. The curiosity needs to be directed in what is a false belief? What are the tools that I'm using to understand this that might be a little off? And that has been one of the favorite outcomes of that particular experience, is I figured out that everything is us.
We just need to ask the right questions.
It's true.
Now, if you had to explain it to people who don't know, what is a quantum alignment coach? How would you describe what you do?
Well, it's easy enough to talk about flow, and it's also easy enough to talk about energy. And when you think about a river and rocks and the things that we talked about, in comes my dog. I hope you don't mind. When we talk about a river and rocks and flow, if we think of the little water molecules as little bits of energy, that's very similar to what's going on in us. So if we are out of alignment, i.e., we have the rocks, then our flow is interrupted, i.e., we have business disasters, or we have relationship disasters, or we have whatever. Because another thing that's always true is how we do one thing is how we do everything, because we're the person in charge, right? So it's up to me to find those rocks and realign you. And quantum is simply the very, very, It's the understanding, quantum mechanics is the understanding of the rules of flow at the very, very tiniest level. Does that make sense? I hope I explained it.
We
You
get
feel free to make me try again.
no, we definitely dig a little deeper. But how do people react when you introduce yourself as a quantum alignment coach? What are the reactions that you usually get? Is it more skeptical, more interested, more neutral? What reactions do you get?
Well, I get two reactions. I get when I explain what a quantum alignment coach does and how I work. It's actually aligning with spirit, to have you aligned with spirit, because the spirit is within you. I get a lot of, you are a blasphemer and, don't you dare. I get that. You're a witch. I got that from my own sister-in-law.
Oh,
Yeah, it's okay. And other reactions, I get people leaning in going, I'm a member of a club called CEO Life. I believe there's chapters in Germany as well. And half the group of CEOs will lean in and go, wow, this means you have special insights to help people. And the other half of the group go, that sounds too good to be true. And it's interesting. And what I have come to understand, it's based on remember, everything's about us. It's based on that individual's idea of what's possible.
That's so true. It's so true. If you don't believe it, it's
because you don't think anything's possible. That you believe, like the people who believe money is hard and everything is hard and you only get things for hard work and you have to struggle. Life is struggle. Oh, look, you found it. Yay.
Yeah. Your beliefs shape your experience. And that's for sure.
Always.
Now, what question do you get asked most when you tell people what you do? So now you have those two kinds of people, two completely different reactions. What question do you get most?
Interestingly enough, people ask me, are you reading my energy right now?
Are you?
No, I don't. Here's why. It's rude.
Okay.
You do never, if you speak with a psychic or somebody who's an intuitive and they're reading people as they're walking through, it's precisely like somebody, trundling through the mail and opening letters that don't belong to them. Rude.
So can you switch it off then?
Yes.
Oh, that's
I can and I do. Can you imagine how overwhelmed I would be walking through a downtown city not being able to turn it off? Talk about TMI. Because I did go through a period of my life where there was that TMI going, and thankfully I lived rural, so I didn't encounter a lot of people. But still, it was, it got where I didn't want to go into the shop and shop for food because please, it's too much. And then I came to an agreement that you better give me an off switch or I'm going to quit working for you, essentially.
So how does the off switch work? Can you just decide?
When I was first discovering it, I'm going to tell you guys a secret. Everybody has a control panel. Everybody does. And what I mean by that is we have an essence of what's allowable and what isn't allowable, what we know and what we don't know, and blah, blah, blah. That's our control panel. Every person has it, and you can watch a child build it. And what I came to understand is, as adults, they say we don't have any access to that after age 7, but that's a lie. We do have access to it. And in meditation, I was able to discover exactly what the control panel is, and you can manipulate it at will. That's part of the ways I help people, by manipulating what is allowable, what is there, and what isn't there. I know it's hard to have the language for it, because I'm trying to relate it to things that people would understand, like an on-off switch or a control panel. But in essence, that's not what it is, but that is what it is. It's its function. And so with me, I was able to install a sensory on-off. All humans can do it. So if you are a highly sensitive person, begun specializing, in highly sensitive people. And pro tip, most entrepreneurs are highly sensitive people. They truly are, because they did not get along with being in a box that somebody else gave them. So they do tend to be entrepreneurs. But if you want to be able to turn off the noise, it is entirely possible. And the quickest way to do it, if you're becoming bothered or obsessed by a problem or a sound or a person, the fastest way to do it is focus on something else and focus hard. Like say, okay, I want to learn everything about this cup. I want to look at this cup. I want to think about, you just take 100% of your focus on something else, and that will work. If you can get it going for at least 90 seconds, you will have interrupted.
Distraction.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I can take people through a meditation and teach them how to adjust their control panel the way they want it and do it at will. It sounds so unbelievable when I say it out loud, but it's really true.
I want to know more about what it feels like to you. So how do you perceive energy patterns and how do you manipulate them? What does it look like? What does it feel
It's
like?
different for every person. You know what? That's amazing. I just realized that it's different for every single person because each person has their own unique relationship with spirit. And we're going to just stipulate a few things for the court. Let me enter this into evidence. All humans have an essence that arrives when they're born and leaves when they die. We're going to stipulate that as fact, right?
Okay.
Some people call it the soul. Some people call it their personality. It doesn't matter what it's called. It's the thing that makes each person unique. That uniqueness has a different relationship with the energy around them, the all that is, so to speak. And so my job is not to have people align with my ability to see or do or work. My job is to understand what their ability is and what they need to allow for the changes. And so, for example, when I'm working with somebody and they're very, very visual, I will give them colors and lights and visual cues to follow while I'm taking care of what I'm taking care of. If somebody is highly sensory, then I will bring up sense memories. If somebody, and this is true, if somebody is not visual or not sensory, but they have a heart centeredness, then I will take them directly to the center of their heart and ask their heart questions.
Okay.
So everybody is different. And we think we're all the same, and in essence, we are all the same, but every person is truly an individual in the way that they interact with themselves and the world.
It's kind of like we're all different flavors of the same thing, right?
I see everybody as variations of color.
Oh, that's nice too. Yeah.
And you know how many millions of colors there are in the world?
Lots of colors for sure.
Yes.
Can you share some actionable techniques and strategies to alter one's energetic state? Because sometimes we are in a state that we don't really enjoy, right?
Yes. Yes, I have several. My first tip is do the opposite. So if you are in an energetic state of frustration or upset or whatever's, like you get to the level where you just want to pound sand, you're so mad, if you're inside, go outside. If you're sitting, stand up. If you're not moving, start moving. If you are moving, stop moving. Do the opposite of what you're doing first. Do that pattern interrupt first. The next thing you can do, if it's your mind, distract it. Everybody does this with social media. I don't mean get on social media. I mean, put on a song that you like and force yourself to dance to it for just a minute while you calm down. And then go back to your emotion. Not why you have the emotion, but the actual emotion. So say a business deal fell through and you're angry and upset and frustrated and ashamed and all these things that you did, right? Instead of beating yourself up and yelling at yourself and doing the, like, woe is me, now what, all, building on and creating stories. Say you're sitting there, stand up, go outside, walk around for a minute, dance, sing, do whatever you need to do, breathe the air, change your physical state. Then come back and don't think about losing the sale. Isolate specifically those emotions. I am feeling shame. I am feeling shame. I am feeling shame. I'm feeling frustration. Just feel it individually for a second, and it becomes unsustainable. If you welcome it instead of push it away, the feeling just goes right away. It is, nobody told you that, but it works.
True, though. It is true.
It absolutely works. So you just don't think about the moment, because that's generating more information. You simply want to take each thing, and it helps if you take them all, because if you don't get them all, that one is going to be left there going, I hate, or whatever. So do them all, isolate them all.
Yeah, the feelings just want to be acknowledged, and
That's
then they
all.
can move on.
They go away so quickly, less than 90 seconds per feeling. It's so surprising. And most people, when they are having a quote unquote negative feeling, they're going to push it away harder.
Yeah.
But here's another thing to consider. And this is something a lot of people don't consider. After you've pushed away the feelings, it's very interesting to sit with yourself and find ownership. Not what could I have done differently, but what in me got in the way of that? Do I have an upper limit? Do I have an upper limit of success that's allowed? Is there something in me that makes it that I did some sort of sabotage? This works great if you're finding yourself procrastinating. Do I have an upper limit of money?
And what if I
success?
do? What if I discover that I do have an upper limit? What do I do next?
Oh, this one's really good.
Mhm.
If you discover you have some sort of limit, a joy limit, a success limit, and that's very common. And here's how you'll notice. If things start going well in your relationship, suddenly you're having a fight or some sort of drama comes in.
Yep.
If things start going well in your business, all of a sudden there's some sort of unforeseen disaster. And if there's been a pattern, stop and notice it. But here's the thing that you do. You sit very quietly with yourself and you ask yourself 3 questions. What about success scares me? Who do I know told me success wasn't for me? Is it something that, did somebody tell me that I'm not allowed to, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And the final question is, what would happen to me if I became successful? Because then all the fears are going to come out. If I became happy, or whatever this thing you have an upper limit on, if I have this, if I have that. Those simple questions are going to reveal so many lies your subconscious has got going on. And then do whatever you need to do. Find help releasing it. Go to a therapist. Go to, do somatic releases. There's millions of ways to solve the problem, not just what I do. But noticing is 50% of solving the problem, just knowing it's there.
Yeah, so basically at the root, there's always finding the misaligned beliefs and then shifting the beliefs, right? Out of
And
the
there's
way.
easy techniques to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, what you talked about in the beginning, identifying the rocks underneath the water and removing the rocks, and then you get back into flow. Now, I'll be honest, so I'm an empath and I'm a highly sensitive person as well. And I sometimes find that it's really difficult, to protect my energy throughout the day. So do you have some tips on just protecting one's energy so we don't take on all the other people's feelings and stuff?
Yes. And this has been a journey. I am, as you can imagine, incredibly sensitive. I can work with somebody. Yesterday, I worked with a person in Dubai, and I can physically feel what that person was feeling in the moment. I could see inside her mind and see what she was seeing. So that is very sensitive. Would you not agree? Right. So in this journey, I've discovered several things. If you consider yourself vulnerable, i.e. needing protection, that's the battle lost right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the battle. So instead, I think of it as not receiving. Now, even though you choose not to receive / notice, the information still comes in. So the first thing I do is I do the off switch.
Mm-hmm.
And let's start with a better way to do that. Since you don't know where your control panel is, you don't want to do the off switch, but you can create a rule. You can create I choose that any information that comes in would only be noticed by me if it's pertinent to my survival, essentially. No extraneous stuff. And that does help. You can just say subconscious, conscious mind, this is it. We're not taking it in. The next thing is, it's not the bubble, it's the grounding. Everybody talks about bubbles, and putting the, energetic field around you to protect you. That's pish and piffle. It doesn't work. I mean, yes, it may work for some people, but what works better is electrical grounding. Full on, think about an electrical system. It's a closed system. You're a bioelectric thing that is a closed system. You get too much information in there, what happens? You short out.
Mm-hmm.
So here is an exercise that's effortless to do, and I do it every single time. When I do it all the time, but I do it when I'm about to go into town. And I live in Nashville. And if anybody has ever heard of Nashville, it's a lot. It's a lot. It is Party City, right? So what you do is imagine in your abdomen, you have an infinite cord. And I think of mine as an extension cord or whatever cord you want it to be. And the very bottom of it has a very heavy end.
Mm-hmm.
That is the exact opposite magnetic of the place where it's going to plug into the earth. And so as you breathe in and relax, you will imagine that a trap door in your body can open up. And as you do this now, just let yourself do it. Just drop that cord down into the earth. And you will feel as you drop it when it clicks in. And a real fun trick is if you do it standing up, you'll rock back on your heels. Your balance will change. It is the coolest thing. And just by doing that, and then you make the rule, all information that isn't for me goes straight down into the earth. I did this once on a plane. It works, because sometimes planes get to be too much.
Yeah.
It's like all this information, because it was very, very turbulent. All these people were having big feelings all at the same time. And I was like, nope, down it goes. I don't need this. And it really, really works. That helps you dissipate the excess bioelectrical energy, because emotions generate energy too, vibrations. That's the stuff you're feeling all around you, is everybody else's vibrational energy. So you just want to pop it right down, and it helps so much.
Great tip. Thank you so much for sharing. I'll definitely try that.
It really, really works.
Now, as you might know,
here's another one. Here's the next one.
Go.
I want you to notice if you're trying not to feel something, because what happens is when you're out and you're trying not to feel something, you resist breathing. And that causes cortisol release in your body, which increases the stress because your body's going, please don't kill us. Please breathe. So if you notice that you're not breathing properly, do something that's quite simple, which is what I call the square breath. And everybody's heard of it. Anybody can count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe, 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 breathe. In, 2, hold, 2, out, 2, hold, 2. It just changes everything. And if you still can't calm down, it's a scientific fact that if you breathe in very quickly, hold for a little longer, and exhale your breath for even longer than that, it tells your autonomic system to calm down.
It does.
It does.
Another good one is the physiological sigh. So a double inhale and a long exhale
Mhm.
through the mouth.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why they tell
Well,
people to do that during Lamaze. Oh, goodness. It
now,
does work.
it really does. As you might know, I'm a big believer in holistic health, and I
Mhm.
know that the body keeps the score. So to me, the link between the emotional awareness and the physical health is really, really strong. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and your tips for cultivating greater harmony.
I am so happy you mentioned this because there are some amazing things that I've noticed over the last 15 years working with people. I started out as a medical intuitive because, like I said, I could see energy and I went to the most, I wanted to go where the need was the greatest. And so I noticed in people who were suffering from autoimmune or suffering from cancer, to a person, all had a similar pattern. And that was when I don't want to process something, I will push it into my body.
Yeah.
And we're all taught this. As children, your crying is inconvenient, so I will make it worse if you don't stop crying. Your feelings are not needed. Please be quiet now. I am your parent. Yield. We're taught to put on our little mask of happiness and not feel. So when you feel yourself bracing and pushing a feeling or a memory down, that is a clue that you're going down the wrong path. Pull that energy back up. And just like we said, feel the feeling, not the memory. Feel the feeling, let it out. And you know what's really funny? If you go back and check that memory, it doesn't hurt anymore. That is what has got it all charged, is holding on to those bits of emotional energy. And that's why the body keeps the score. It's so literal. I once worked with a man who came to me because he had had repeated bouts of bladder infections, cystitis, repeated, and he couldn't figure out why. He was a very angry man. He was always pissed off about something.
There we go.
And once we understood that his anger was based on his, and it's not really entitlement, his perceived lack in his ability, because that's another one. If you think you're not enough, then you get very angry at the people who know that they are. That's very common, especially in men. You want to kill the thing that makes you mad. And he had, it was basically, the anger wasn't anger. It was frustration and sadness.
Right.
Yeah. And once he understood that, and we released the big piles of frustration and sadness that he hadn't been wanting to feel his whole life, suddenly the cystitis went away, and so did the anger.
And by release, you just mean he felt the feeling and let it
No, I
pass.
just pulled him out. He didn't have to feel him. That's
Yeah.
what else is cool. I mean, it's like I can be the maid too. I
Nice.
can come in there and just whoosh, it's gone. And it's so cool. I once worked with a woman who was just incensed with anger, incensed with it. She would just get angry at the drop of a hat. And it turns out that was fear. It was her fear. And we found out what was at the root of her fear, inverted that, and then pulled all the anger out of her body in, probably 10 minutes. She didn't have to feel any of it. She didn't have to do any of it. And she came in with a statement that just, I am so mad. And she left. And this is to a person you'll know when the energy is released. She'd say the same thing and laugh.
Okay.
Because it was so untrue. It's like it sounded so ridiculous to her to hear it coming from her mouth. And that's how you know you have released the energy properly. Because
Okay.
you laugh.
Because you feel the distance, like it's not real anymore.
It's like, I am so afraid that my children are going to hate me when I grow up, or when they grow up, or something. It's just something that is just ridiculous. And it's like, do your children hate you now? No, they love me very much. And are you planning on making that change in their lives? No. That kind of thing. You find out what is at the root, and it's all connected, as we know. And so if you are having an entrepreneurial struggle, it's definitely rooted in some sort of thing inside of you. Either you have a belief that you can't feel this thing, or you have a fear that if this thing, then that thing. It doesn't matter what it is. Everybody's different, but everybody has a basic root. That is
Right.
the problem.
Now I have a fun question for you.
Sure.
Now, as a psychic, why did you choose to come on the show? What did you see happening as a result of this interview?
I I believe that we would connect on a really clear level, and gosh darn if that didn't just happen. And I also believed that the people that listen to your show really needed to hear the message that I had. And that's exactly why I came on the show.
Perfect. Now, I'd love to hear from you where you see yourself in, say, 5 years. And what I mean by that is not where you physically be, but just what your version of success looks like what you want to achieve.
Oh my goodness, I'm already putting the things in place. And I'm so happy you asked that. So I currently work mostly one-on-one with people, but I'd like to expand it to a way where I can exponentially recreate myself. And it's not like I'm going to be teaching what I do. I am going to be condensing how I do it and then allowing people to help each other through weekend retreats, through group experiences, through masterminds. I am creating a system. It's called the Bliss System. And distilling, it's very simple. The first is check your beliefs. The next is listen. Listen, just stop and listen, because you tell on yourself constantly. The next one is intuition. Notice your intuition and honor it. It is 100% correct. The next one is, once you have all that in place, the next one is see, because we see what we believe instead of what's actually there. So you pull down the veil, the wool from your eyes, literally, and see what's actually there. And then the final one is sustain, because every time you hit a limit, the old patterns are going to kick back up, because when we're entrepreneurs, we need to level up and level up and level up and level up. So you just repeat the pattern. What are my beliefs? I'm listening to myself. What does my intuition say? What is really there? And then it's amazing how well that works. And in each one of those things, I have exercises that you can do to help you through those. And I want to share that with the world, so it will demystify the mind and the relation with spirit.
Sounds super interesting. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners today?
I don't understand. What would you mean, like a gift?
No, it's just in general, like some insight or wisdom.
Because I do have a gift.
If you want to share a gift, sure.
Then the show notes will have the link for it.
Yep.
It's my favorite thing. It is 15 questions to ask yourself to bump yourself out of a funk. It's a checklist. It's very simple. You just like, have I eaten today? Because a lot of times we get tunnel vision and oh yes, I forgot to eat.
Didn't sleep, didn't move.
Yeah, just different. There's 15 simple questions. What are my beliefs about this problem? Are they true just for me, or are they true for everyone? That's a big question.
That's a good one.
It's such a simple thing that people can use, and I believe your listeners would really get a lot of value out of it.
Perfect. So where can they find this list?
I will give you the link.
Perfect. And we'll just pop it in the show notes.
And you'll pop it in the show notes, and they can just click on it, and there it is.
Sounds good to me. So last but not least, where can they find you online if they would like to connect with you? What's your favorite platform? My current favorite platform is TikTok. Oh.
And I am BlissLife_coach. I love TikTok. I am on YouTube as BlissLife_coach. Or you can just do Sally Reid in the Google and it'll come up. And of course, I'm sallyreid.com, my landing page, my website, where you can find pretty much anything about me you want.
Perfect. Sally, thank you so much for sharing your tips and insights with all of us today. It's been a pleasure having you on this show.
And thank you, Claudia, for having me. And I wish everyone listening to this today takes exactly what they needed from it, and they were able to advance one tiny step forward.
Hope so too. Now, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and talk soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Wired for Success podcast. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. That's a fantastic, easy, and zero-cost way to help the show grow. Just use the link in the show notes and make my day. Want more? For quick, actionable tips and insights to guided meditations and a side of biohacking, join my inner circle and get access to exclusive subscriber-only content. Again, just use the link in the show notes to join the tribe. Thank you for your support and see you on the other side. Take care and talk soon. Bye.